more seriously than what your brain spits out. And so to move into this field, we start to recognize, oh, I don't trust my conditioned thoughts so much. And so I become much more open to being influenced by you. And to learning from other people, because I know my mind doesn't think the truth, it just thinks old conditioned thoughts. And so that's one of the main things we need to do to get into field 3 is to stop taking our own mind so seriously. And then also part of the motivation for that is this deep yearning to be more than we are, to be, to learn, to grow, to hopefully tomorrow I'll see differently than I do today because I'm open to all of you and learn from you. It's this feeling. So this is basically what I've just been saying. When we get in these conversations, one way you know you were just in it is if you come out thinking something different. And perhaps most of the people in the conversation, their position, if they had one at the beginning, has really softened, and they're able to take maybe many positions at once, as Clint's going to work with us tomorrow, perspective taking, being in many places at the same time. So I was at this school in Sweden for a year. It was something like this week, and it was just an incredible experience. But one experience I had there was a great example of this field, is we had a food circle, and before that everyone had, because it was mostly vegetarian, it was vegetarian school, but not everyone that came there. We would have this if we stayed here longer, I think. Not everyone that came was a vegetarian, and so some people wanted to bring meat, and other people didn't want to bring meat. Some people wanted to just bring fish, and some people... So we all had these different food preferences, and we had been living together, like at the dorms for the school, for a couple of months at this point. So we were really in field 2 about it. And then we had this, it was called the sharing circle, and we just all sat around and we just all shared what our position and perspective was. And they were all really a lot of clashing in the perspectives and positions, but we just said where we were, and everyone was just really open and listened. And at the end, it was a powerful experience, because no one's, well, I'm contradicting one part of what I just said. No one's position really changed, but it softened, and somehow after that, it didn't matter very much. Even though there was the same issues, we weren't fighting about it anymore. It was just like, oh, I get where I am, and I also get where you are, and you are, and you are, and you are, and I equally respect them all. And so even though it was an impossible situation on the level of logic, it was much more, it was much easier to be in that community after that, around the issue of food. So that's the feel of field 3, is we're all in different places, but we all really respect a lot those differences and learn from them. Yes?
How can you tell that you're being sincere? Because I read of late the proverb of sorts that the sincere man is the one who believes his own bullshit.
Who believes his own bullshit?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for how do you know if you're sincere?
I tend to believe my own bullshit. That's because it's nice. I'm a lawyer by training, not anymore, thank God. And there is a multi-layeredness in my sincerity. There's always an agenda, and I can speak about this agenda, but again, speaking about this agenda is again something which I can use strategically, and there is a sort of endless pit of what I can do and feel and think, and I can presume the other person is not much less complex than I am. So there's this dance of things, and in the end it doesn't matter because it's all a game and always already were won. But to say, well, now I'm sincere, hey, bullshit.
No, I think I get what you're saying, and it's actually a great example of, in this field, we're asked, like it's reflective dialogue, and so we're really constantly asking those questions, constantly looping back on ourselves, like, okay, I'm trying to be sincere, and this is what I think and feel, and what do you think and feel, and then also calling her, like constantly watching ourselves and watching each other, but in a gentle way, constantly doubting ourselves, if in this case, in a helpful way, to try to get past ego. I'm not sure if that
suffices for now.
I just want to recognize that the pattern of thinking that you're talking about is one characteristic of this field. In Scott Peck's model, this is true community. So after pseudo-community, and then there's the stage 2 is the breakdown, and then this is true community where we're all different, we don't agree on everything, but we're able to live together. To not identify with my thoughts, I need to identify as awareness. This is just how it works for me. I don't know how it works for you. But when I feel like I am awareness, then I don't take my mind so seriously. So that's what this, listening from a space of awareness within yourself. So I'm not my mental stream. I'm not what I'm thinking. I'm the awareness that the thinking is arising. And that shift in who I feel, who I'm experiencing myself as, is really helpful for me to get into this stage. Listening to and not from your own reactivity. So you say something and I feel my body start to tense up, and I just notice that. And then I can speak about that tensing, or I can speak something else, not about it, but I'm not speaking from it. When I'm speaking from it, I usually didn't notice that my body got tense and my jaw got tight, and I like fire back at you. That's speaking from your activity. I'm listening from it. So in this case, we're listening to it and giving space for it, not repressing it, being very aware of it, but inviting it in and working with it as appropriate, as skillful. So, any questions about this field? Yeah.
Well, I'm not clear yet, so I don't want to ask.
You're not clear yet, so you don't want to ask it?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Well, it will come.
Okay.
Surely.
Yeah.
I've got a question. If I understand correctly, it's not possible to do small talk in this field.
My first thought is, this is just a theory, a hypothesis, that maybe it's useful for us to learn to pay better attention to what's going on in groups and to more consciously participate in the emergence of groups. When you say, is it possible or not possible, it sounds like I don't know if that's a rule, that you can't do small talk in this field.
It feels like it's not possible. It feels like it's...
Yeah. I mean, a great theory, or I'm responding from field 3 in answering your question. It would be great if why don't we make this into an experiment in our life and actually try to do small talk in this field and see if it works. So this is more downstream attention. If I just answered you like I was the expert, I wouldn't be embodying the spirit of this field. If I invite us all into experiment to find out the answer to your question, then that's more the spirit of this field. Did you want to?
I'm not really sure, but something in my daily life, or then, my own experience in relating to people, is that I sometimes am aware of my reactions to people, or people do things, and I feel this irritation. But then, actually, for me, because then still there's the awareness of people lives. So I see the different fields emerging at the same time in my experience.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, or another way, maybe to be more accurate about what I meant, that makes sense, is I resonate with that and I experience that also. So maybe if there's other people, then we can generalize, but right now there's at least 2 of us.
So that means